Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and guess what? I finally cut the cable TV cord after all of these years. Yes, Mr. Cord Cutting here has been a cord shaver since I started this effort way back in 2013. But last week I finally said enough is enough with all of the increasing cable fees, and we are cutting the cord. And we're also in a few minutes going to retire my HDHomerun Prime, which has been my key cord shaving device all of these years, and I'll talk about what I am doing next. But before we get into today's video, we do have a word from our sponsor, ExpressVPN. Now, today's video is being brought to you by ExpressVPN. I am in my living room right now where I've got a bunch of devices connected to the internet, including my gaming PC, my TV boxes over there, even my Mister, my retro gaming device, is attached to the internet. Now, while my communications to all the sites that I am visiting are secure because most of those sites are encrypted, what isn't encrypted are my DNS queries and the IP addresses that I'm connecting to. And while it's very difficult for somebody driving by to listen in on what I'm doing in this house, my ISP certainly knows, and ISPs here in the United States regularly sell your internet activity to advertisers in an effort to better target ads to you. Additionally, some ISPs even snoop in on your packets to make sure you're not doing anything that they don't approve of. Now, when you have a VPN like ExpressVPN, those communications are locked down. Even the DNS queries are encrypted going out over your connections. So you have a lot more protection and privacy when you use a VPN. However, one of the issues you run into with a VPN sometimes is that you don't get the full bandwidth that you are paying for because there is some overhead. And I was surprised to see that on my network, I was getting close to gigabit speeds when I ran some speed tests using ExpressVPN. Find out how you can get 4 months of ExpressVPN for free by scanning the QR code on screen or visiting expressvpn.com/Lon.TV. And they also have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's very little risk here, and I want to thank ExpressVPN for their support of the channel. Why don't we talk about the HDHomerun Prime? And before we do, I think it is appropriate that we have a proper send-off for it here. So cue the music, and I am going to go over and shut it off for the first time since 2013, believe it or not. So there it is. It's been running in my equipment closet for quite a while here since I got it over 11 years ago. And now what we're going to do here is just hit the cable, and it is off. And I kind of feel like I just shut down my best friend here. This thing was kind of the start of the channel as we know it. The first video I did about the HDHomerun accumulated 1.6 million views. And I paid for this with my own funds. I bought it like any other consumer would, but of course this led to a very long relationship with the company, and in full disclosure, they have been an occasional sponsor here on the channel. You might have seen me on some of their Kickstarter pitches too. And what this device did is it worked with a cable card, and my whole intention of getting this thing was to save money on my cable bill. Sound familiar? Because what happened was back in 2013, the cable company, Comcast, used to let you plug your cable cord directly into your television to get your digital cable without having to use a cable box. But they saw that there was an opportunity to make more money by forcing people to rent equipment. So they encrypted everything one morning, like without warning. They just turned it on and everything stopped working. And so I started scrambling looking for an alternative, and that's when I found out about this device called the HDHomerun Prime. Now, HDHomerun also makes devices for antennas, which I'll show you in a little bit. That's my solution to keeping the TVs working in the house here. And what they did with their HDHomerun Prime was create a device that worked with cable. So you plug your cable coax into here, and to decrypt the signals, you got this card from your cable company. Somehow, Comcast has not asked me for it back yet, although I'll hang on to it in case they want it. And this is cable company property, and what this did is it decrypted the signal coming in over the coax, and then the HDHomerun here can serve it out to all of my devices to watch TV on. And this works with TVs, with phones, with tablets, computers, just about anything once the signal was decrypted properly through the cable card interface here. And that was pretty much it, a very simple device, but it saved me a ton of money because I didn't have to go out and rent equipment from the cable company. So I think it paid for itself probably in the first year or two. Now, back when it first came out, you had to use the Windows Media Center if you wanted to replicate the experience of using a traditional TV with a guide and DVR and everything. And so what I had in my closet over there was an old laptop running Windows 7 that was the server. And then I had Windows Media Center extenders in different rooms in the house. Two of those extenders were Xbox 360s because those had the extender built in. And then I also bought a little device from Ceton to add a third TV to the mix because 3 Xboxes in one house seemed a bit extreme to me, especially given we didn't play too many games on them at the time. And over the years, the product has evolved. They have their own app now and their own DVR. But it's fun to go back and look at this original video because it was a lot of fun finding a solution that not a lot of people had heard of before. And of course, that video did exceptionally well. It's one of my top 3 on the channel. And of course, it led to a lot of what this channel is all about. Now, for me, the reason why I cut the cord was again due to price. So my bill has been creeping up over the years. I've got this really weird setup with Comcast because I have their Gigabit Pro fiber optic internet service, and that put me in this weird tier where my cable TV was grandfathered in and nobody ever messed with it. So I've been paying pretty much about $40 a month for a lot of cable channels, including HBO. So I was very reluctant to cut everything out, given that I was getting a pretty good deal, I think, for all the channels that I was getting. Compare that to like YouTube TV, right? This is a great deal. But what was driving me crazy was this broadcast TV fee. I'm paying as much for my local stations as I was for the entire swath of cable channels I got, including HBO, and we weren't watching it as much. So I said, you know what, enough is enough here, because this fee went from $32.75 last month to $37.50 this month, and it's been going up like $5 or $6 a year. And sometimes there's incremental increases every 6 months or so, every time the stations start negotiating with the cable companies again. And when you think about how crazy this economic model is, as demand decreases for their product, they keep raising the price of it in the hopes of maintaining their revenue, but that's driving more and more customers away. I was one of the last holdouts here amongst my friend group when it came to cord cutting, because I, again, had a really good deal on my cable service. But at this point, it was just getting ridiculous that I was spending so much money a year, almost $500, to watch local channels that I can get from my antenna on the roof for free. And these fees are only going to get worse. That broadcasters, as we've been discussing here ad nauseum, are hell-bent on destroying their industry, and they are going to keep racking up these fees and keep making you pay more and more to watch channels that you're watching less and less. So rather than focusing on content, they're just focusing on getting subscription fees. The latest dispute here in my home state involves customers of Optimum Cable, which is on the other side of Connecticut from me. And they just lost their ABC affiliate, WTNH, because the owner of the station also owns a cable network, and they're requiring Optimum Cable to carry the cable network in addition to the local channel, and forcing, of course, customers to pay a lot of money for both. And Optimum Cable said, hey, look, nobody's watching this news channel. Why are you making our customers pay for it? So they just kicked them off the cable networks completely. And now, of course, customers are still paying the fee, but not actually getting the channel. It's so much easier just to cut all of this stuff out, put an antenna up on your roof, and in some cases, you can just put the antenna next to your television, and you've got all these channels for free that nobody will take away from you until they go out of business. So now that my cable is cut, what am I doing now? Well, as many of you know, I picked up this monster antenna a year or two ago that my friend Tyler the Antenna Man recommended to me. And if you're not on his channel, you should check him out. He's got some great advice if you are looking to cut the cord and get your TV for free. And the antenna that he recommended to me was this Televis DAT Boss. Look at the size of this thing. But this is what I needed given how far away I was from my broadcast towers. And after years of living in this house, I finally was able to get everything over the air. Now, part of what made this work is that my local broadcasters put all of their ATSC 3 broadcasts in one frequency on one tower up north from me. And so I was able to get everything in quite easily that way. But this antenna is also able to pick up a few of the ATSC 1.0 channels that are currently encrypted on the ATSC 3 band. So I'm able to get everything now over the air for free, most of it on ATSC 3, but for the encrypted channels on the older standard, at least until they switch everything over. And upstairs, I'm using a smaller HD home run, but a very powerful one nonetheless. This is the ATSC 3 capable Flex 4K. In full disclosure, HD Home Run sent this to the channel for me to review. It has 4 tuners on it, and it works just like my other device did. In fact, when I took the cable one off the network, a few of the things that we record from network TV on our DVR just started recording off the air automatically. Their system really works well. There's not a lot of configuration to it. You basically plug it in and it works, and that's been a really nice addition to the house here. I can also plug storage now directly into the HD Home Run, so I don't need to run a server anywhere else in the house. It can handle it all for me. And my signal strength is very good here. So the ATSC 3 channels, as you can see, have a very, very strong signal off of that DAT Boss antenna. But as I mentioned, they are encrypting 2 of the channels in my market. The other ones will likely follow at some point in the future once the transition gets worked out. I've been very fortunate here, though, that only 2 channels have encrypted themselves. In some markets, all of them are. And right now, unfortunately, the HD Home Run cannot decrypt those channels, even though they went through the certification process and even though they got a license from the A3SA Encryption Authority. The broadcasters haven't thought that far ahead about this DRM, and right now it doesn't work with anything except boxes that you have to plug in directly to your TV and your antenna. So hopefully that will change. We've been working on that, but no news yet on that front. But as you can see here, these 2 stations that are encrypted I can pick up right now on the ATSC 1.0 broadcast. The signal strength is not as good on my NBC affiliate, but as you can see here, it is more than adequate to be able to watch that channel. And I don't get any drops in frame rate or anything. It's been a very smooth broadcast, even though the signal is not perfect. So far, so good. Now, another thing I've been doing, because I don't watch all that much TV, believe it or not, is I put my local news broadcasters into my RSS reader. So some of them have an RSS feed directly on their website. Some, like my CBS affiliate, have a YouTube channel along with my Fox affiliate here. So whenever I see a news story that interests me, I can just pop up the news packages right inside of my web browser and just stream them over the internet. So there's a lot of other ways here to watch TV, at least the things that I want to see, if they decide to encrypt everything and not offer me an option for being able to use my HD Home Run gateway devices here in the house. And as local broadcasters make it expensive and difficult for viewers to tune in, big events like the Super Bowl now are coming to free advertiser-supported streaming services. Fox announced that the Super Bowl this year is going to be on Tubi in 4K for free. So you're going to get a much better quality image than what you're paying your broadcaster to deliver to you through your streaming service or through your cable service. So this is the direction I think we're going to see things go in. The big networks, many of whom don't own the local broadcast station, still need viewers, and they're going to be looking for those viewers in the places where those viewers are watching. And of course, people would much prefer to stream something for free than spend $37 and change per month to get their local broadcast. Now, just last week, the broadcasters released their big ATSC 3 transition document. It says pretty much everything they've been saying all along. They are not changing course. They are going to continue to encrypt TV. They think there is nothing wrong with the really crappy options that they have presented to us for tuning in these encrypted channels. So they are not going to change. That train has left the station now. And the worst part is that document doesn't even recognize the thousands of customers who have written into the FCC to urge them to stop the encryption of over-the-air television. But they're digging their grave here. That is going to be what it is. And it looks like we will have plenty of options to continue watching content without fees in the future. That's going to do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.